Today you find us at the Boar's Head Hotel in Ripley, north of Harrogate, North Yorkshire. It is breakfast and a team of mainly local guns are about to enjoy a rather special day at the Ripley Castle shoot. Frank Boddy, who runs the shooting here, is what used to be called an original. A Yorkshireman with a capital Y, he calls his part of England heaven. He clearly loves what he does.
I do adore putting days on for people and seeing people come along not knowing what to expect, and then they go away with a smile on their face. That makes my day.
Today, Frank has come up with an unusually wide variety of sport for the guns.
The day we're on is what I call a Mac Ripley day, where we try and shoot different species that are available on the shooting area that I've got.
Frank advertises his shooting on the popular website GunsOnPegs.com. Its founder, James Horn, is on the shoot today.
We're a website which is free to use. So if you're a shoot and you've got something to sell, you can literally sign up and register as a shoot owner, and then you upload your data about your particular shoot with photographs and everything else, and away you go. The volume of traffic now going through the site is fantastic, and so what we're finding is anybody who's putting up shooting is by and large, if it's a good value shoot and makes a lot of sense, is by and large selling it. But I just started it for a laugh and running my own shoot and thought, why don't we use the internet? And the next thing I knew was other friends of ours who were running shoots came onto it, and it literally has mushroomed from nothing to 3 years ago to where we are now.
As well as being free to shoot owners, GunsOnPegs.com is also free to shooters, and its growth to now, November 2010, has been phenomenal.
It's been unbelievable. We've got nearly 17,500 members now, over 1,000 shoot owners on the system, and it's just been growing regularly and very steadily. I mean, this week been averaging over 66 new members a day, which is fantastic. Frank Boddy joined Guns on Pegs right in the early days and has been one of the most fantastic supporters of us. He put the shoot on and did very, very well in the early days because, of course, we had only a relatively small number of shoots, and has built up an enormous database of people coming to shoot at Ripley Castle.
We start with a drive called Katyn Gil.
I wanted to have early partridge, which we got. The pheasants performed reasonably well for me. I wanted a few more over the higher numbers, but they still had plenty of shooting. So it was a typical drive. It's the first time through, and it's the 2nd, 3rd of November, so it's not too bad.
The Katyn Gil drive delivers pheasants and partridges coming straight and curling over the trees to a line of guns, all of whom can see what the others are up to. This is true gallery-driven shooting. Happily for anyone who still needs sharpening up, the birds are coming out of the woods thick and fast, so there's no time to look around.
No point in starting on a difficult drive. We're building them up.
After the birds have been picked and the guns refreshed, it's time to see what's next on the menu.
Then I put a duck drive on. And it's not sort of floppy ducks that you get off a pond. These are driven over the trees, and we're all stood in a wood, and they performed well. Pleased with those.
And so he should be. Guns make their way to their pegs over duck boards and across little bridges through a diluvian marsh. The duck come hard and fast, and there's even a chance at geese. With woodland all around, you have to stay alert if you want to be in with a chance. Shooting duck means plenty of wet work for the dogs. And on the subject of dogs, Guns on Pegs now has a classified section.
Part of the reason why we set it up as a free service was simply to allow everybody to get together within the shooting community, and we've got a free classified section, so if you've got dogs or whether you've got guns, again you can sell within the website, and we generate our income through advertising.
Kept on their toes by the duck drive, Frank has a classic drive for the guns in the parkland above the castle.
Then we finished with, this morning, with what we call Stevens Drive, which is named after my keeper who sadly died at a very young age of, I think he was 45, 46. So we've named, it's one of our premier drives after him. And well, you saw how they performed there. There was plenty of shooting, a good height, a shootable height.
By now, each gun is settling into his form. The pheasants are driven down a tapering wood on top of the hill before launching themselves across the valley and over the guns. The Yorkshire countryside rolls away, and you really can believe Frank's assertion that this is heaven. It all ends with a welcome bull shot, Frank's own recipe, at his GHQ, a well-appointed porter cabin in a yard that includes his game larder. This is David Cockshot, head gamekeeper, putting game into the cold store ready for collection by the game dealer in a refrigerated van. Frank sees the first drives of the day almost as a training exercise for his guns. By the time they have had the lowland shooting around the castle, it's time to take them to more challenging shooting on his moors.
They are now at a level where we can go and try some even higher birds, which when we go to Landslide, on my other shoot near Pateley Bridge at Eagle Hall, yeah, you will see some very, very testing pheasant and partridge. I started my shooting here at Ripley Castle, and around Ripley we have 7,000 acres, which consists of Ripley Castle Estate and 3 other estates, which is great, good, what I call parkland shooting and testing, but not as testing possibly as what I'm about to show them on our moorland edges this afternoon. I was fortunate in having the lease of Hardcastle Moor, then Heathfield came along, and so did the shooting below the moor. So we're going on to what we call Eagle Hall and Ashfold Side this afternoon. We are actually driving them from one estate onto another estate across a stream. And Landslide is right at the edge of the moor. It consists mainly of partridge, but there will be some very testing pheasants and maybe the odd grouse. Yeah, it's you just see it's a long drive. It can go on for an hour. Some people will have 100, 150 shots. It'll test some of them tremendously. Some will perform on it. It's very interesting to see when they've been here this morning, and then I really put them through their paces this afternoon.
Landslide is where the shots to bird average takes a beating. Around Ripley Castle they're putting in a creditable 3-1. Here the guns have some superb but testing birds to shoot, coming off a moor and down a narrow valley pushed up to great speeds by a following wind. With the wind that strong, ratio falls to 6.5-1. It is a long, even drive of more than an hour. I ask keeper George Reap how he keeps the birds coming for so long.
Just the amount of ground we bring in, I think. It's just a massive big piece of ground, and it's out of heather and bracken, so they don't all sort of run on and flush. So they're just putting up steady away all the time. Fairly spectacular drive, really. It's an unusual drive as well, really. There aren't many drives that you can do with that.
By the end of the drive, guns really feel they've worked hard. The moor has grouse on it as well, and Frank finishes his Muck Ripley day with that most glorious of game birds.
On Hardcastle, it is a little gem. It's a beautiful little moor, and all I can say is that you just wait and see. You'll see some very testing grouse this afternoon.
The wind is picked up, and though it brings a little drizzle, the birds fairly whip past the guns. Grouse travel at around 65 miles per hour compared to a pheasant's more sedate 35 mph. You've got to be quick on your toes to have a chance at any of these. The guns love it.
Fantastic fun, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's not often you end up shooting grouse, pheasant, partridge, duck, and having a go. I saw a woodcock as well, so we nearly got the full amount, but fantastic fun.
Frank runs the shooting over 14,000 acres here at Ripley Castle and on his other shoots. That gives him no shortage of drives to offer his gun.
Well, there's 90 down here at Ripley and around Ripley.
90 drives?
90 drives, yeah. And then up on the moorland edges for the pheasants and the partridge, there'll be another 30 or 40 drives. And then we've got the grouse moor drives, which, yes, we've got a good variety of drives there. Maybe there's 8 or 10 on each moor. But the great thing about both moors is there's a gill drive on each. So therefore you're not in butts all day long. When they get settled down and they know how to shoot them out of butts, I put them through their paces, I put them in a gill, and that really sorts the guns out.
A gill's a northern word for
a little valley, yeah. And, oh yes, we mustn't let them relax. I'm referring to the guns now. They'll find it too easy. We range from 100 birds up to 350. Today's a 350 bird day, and we'll get the bag okay. My ideal day is 250 to 300. The smaller days are run by my keepers, and we tend to do the drives that won't produce 300 birds, but they'll produce 150 to 200. And quite often those smaller drives are as good, if not better, than the larger ones. I do enjoy the keepers' days. And then also at the end of the season, we have our farmers' days, beaters' days. I've got to say our farmers' days are quite amusing. It's always a lot of birds shot because there's a lot of farmers, but we do have fun. So yeah, we have every variety of day, which is what shooting is all about to me, yes.
This is just one of the shoots that GunsOnPegs.com offers. The website also offers services including deer stalking, beaters and pickers up, big game abroad, syndicate places and even whole shoots for sale. Its owner, James, runs his own shoots, and the website had the best possible start in life.
I had the guys from eBay who funded the start of eBay buying shooting from me, and they came over from California to a house that they bought on the estate, and I said, let's make an eBay for shooting. So that's what we duly did, and a little bit of judicious advice from them has put together a business plan which is all about critical mass. It's all about bringing more people on. And already we're the biggest broker for shooting in the UK. We're not an agent. In fact, we encourage agents to use the website. We have Roxton's, Davis Bowering, Ian Coley Sporting, to name 3 well-known agents, and they use us to attract business for them. So we're trying to be inclusive to as many people as we can.
One of Guns on Pegs' most popular services helps shoots fill up their places. The website caters for both single guns and full teams.
And because we've got such a large database, what we're able to do is if you've got 2 guns missing out of a team of 9, we can do an email out to whatever radius that the shoot owner wishes. We do charge that. That's a chargeable part of the website. For example, last Friday we had 7 pegs over 4 days available in Cornwall, and we did an email to everybody on our database who lives in Devon and Cornwall, sold all 7 within an hour and a half. Which was fantastic. Yes, we charged, but it was more than worth it for the shoot owner.
With the lettings sorted out by GunsOnPegs.com, it allows Frank to concentrate on running his shoot days.
We finished the day with a barbecue lunch in the shoot box on Hardcastle Moor. It was built as a shoot box in about the 1850s. I prefer to do it at the end of the day once the clocks go back, because I do like my birds to go to roost. The purists like to stop at lunchtime every day. Well, I don't like it shooting after 3 o'clock, really. No. So it's just me. And seeing it's mine, I can run it the way I want to run it.
Guns stay on at the shooting box long after dark. If you would like to go shooting at Ripley Castle or any of the hundreds of shoots on offer, visit www.GunsOnPegs.com.